BFDI is the best object show and you cannot change my mind. There is nothing that compares. BFDI is the only object show with a perfect mixture of this was clearly made by a kid and wow, I am so impressed. The farther you get from this was made by a kid, the more pretentious and soul-sucking it gets. I just don't get that same joy and that same knowledge that whoever's making this is having the time of their life. The farther you get from I'm impressed, the harder it can be to watch and stay inside the world the creators made. BFDI keeps your belief suspended and also doesn't try too hard. I've said it before, when I find myself trying too hard, writing too many drafts, perfecting characters, creating contrived plot points, I end up hating the final product. But characters like Pin, Leafy, Bubbles, Spongy, they're so simple, yet so funny, so charming, it's impossible to not enjoy yourself when they're on screen. I also like that the season doesn't really have an overarching plot. There's no focus on dramatic character development or some sappy conversation that takes place on a cliff. There's also something so simplistic yet perfect about the art style. It's not super complicated with amazing shading and detailed drawings, but it's not bad or hard to understand. I get everything that's going on, but I'm also not overwhelmed or drawn away from the characters who are always front and center. Also, the humor gets me every time. Some of the jokes are witty, some are silly, and some just make you go, yep, good one, but you always laugh. It's hard to find a show with a sense of humor like BFDI, mostly because, as always, it's not trying too hard. I think that's really the takeaway here. The older you get, the more cynical you can be, and the perfectionist comes out. And it's hard to not try. We aren't kids anymore, we don't have the same charm as we did when we were 12 and making silly shows, but unlike Michael and Carrie, we also weren't geniuses, so the shows we were making looked like this. And that's why I say it strikes a perfect balance. There's charm, innocence, fun, and wit, and they're exemplified in BFDI, and I don't think any of us can stack up. That's why BFDI, to me, is a 10 out of 10. You really can't change my mind.